How do I start a podcast on YouTube? Well, if you are a business owner and you're looking to get into YouTube, maybe you already have your podcast and you want to switch over to YouTube or augment things with YouTube, that's a really great place to be. There are a couple considerations that you need to cover, and we'll go over those next. So by the end of this video, you are going to know so much more about YouTube to hopefully give you that right guidance to get started in the right direction. And if you stick around all the way to the end, I've got a special gift for you that really covers all of that in depth and more. But in the meantime, with this video, we're going to go over why you should even consider taking your podcast over to YouTube, what you should talk about, especially as a business owner, how to promote your business the right way. And we'll give you a couple topics to get started with, some general ones that people seem to click on a lot. So let's get started. Now, if you're thinking about taking a YouTube channel, or if you're thinking about starting with your podcast and moving it over to YouTube, or starting a YouTube podcast for your business, that is a great idea. There's so many advantages to doing something like that, not the least of which is SEO. YouTube is owned by Google, the biggest search engine in the world. Do you know what the number 2 website is in the world? YouTube. It's funny how those two go hand in hand, and it works out beautifully to your advantage if you do it correctly. Some other advantages are the connection you get to build with your potential clients. They get to see you and hear you. The podcast is really good. There's a great place. Podcasting really does give you a sense of the people that you're dealing with, but YouTube, you get to see them. You get to see their facial expressions. You get to see their hand gestures and motions and stuff like that. It gives you a different perspective of everything, quite frankly. And is this somebody that you want to do business with? Is what they're sitting there thinking. This is your opportunity to put your best foot forward and not totally mess everything up. What I have seen in the past, for example, back in my years doing radio, I would see people on the street and somehow they'd figure out it was me or something like that. Either I'd introduce myself, or maybe I was at a live broadcast, and people would come up. Invariably, they're gonna say, "Wow, you look so different from what I pictured you." Happens all the time. I will never forget about the time I went to, this was back when you didn't have so much digital as you did regular pictures that you had to have developed. Do you remember that? You ever see those? Not too many of those around. But anyway, I was going to pick up my pictures at, Walgreens or Walmart. I don't even know where I was. I was going to pick up my pictures, and I'm standing there in line, and there's this woman off to the side. She's off just out of view over here. And they said, "Who's next?" And I said, "I am." And they said, "What's your name?" I said, "Nick Natarella." Well, that was my air name too, because it was so unique. I decided to keep it. Well, the woman immediately just all of a sudden pops her head over and looks at me. She was obviously one of our listeners, and she knew A, my voice, and B, my name. And she just all of a sudden popped her head over and looked at me like, "Oh my gosh, that's Nick from the radio." It was pretty obvious because I did see her. But it's that whole shock factor. But when you get on YouTube and start talking about your business, you've immediately invited people into your business, and what you're doing becomes the persona that they're used to. And hopefully you're giving them you, because we need to know, like, and trust you. So hopefully you're being you when you're on your podcast and when you're on your videos. That's a great way to connect with your audience. Now, one of the biggest warnings I can give you is do not turn this into a 15-minute or 30-minute or 60-minute advertisement for your company. The best thing to do, especially when it comes to know, like, and trust, is to give people, why are they at YouTube? Why are they at Google? Because chances are they're typing in a question. In fact, you typed in a question, "How do I start a podcast on YouTube?" Here's my answer. Not only am I giving you one man's answer, I'm also teaching you a little bit about it. So if you can give an answer to a question that they're asking and teach a little bit about what you do, how you do it, and yes, you give away the farm. Seriously, give away the farm. Tell them exactly how you do it, okay? They're going to really respect your level of knowledge, and you end up becoming the authority in the space to them. So it's the know, like, and trust factor that you establish through teaching that ends up many of those people becoming clients. So the big question is, what are you going to talk about? That's where your SEO research comes in. Start with your own customers. What are they already asking you when you meet them for the first time? I'm sure you've got an intake process and they end up asking questions. If you're a financial advisor, they want to know about 401ks, or maybe they want to know about mutual funds or individual stocks or something like that. What are those questions that they're asking you? Write those down, because those are going to make great teaching videos, long-form videos in the very near future, because as soon as they leave the office, you're going to go record that video, right? Because other people are also asking those questions. In fact, what you'll probably notice is as people come through the door and you sit down and you have those initial conversations with them, chances are 80% of the questions are pretty much the same. Then there's a small sliver of questions that people are asking because they relate specifically to their individual situation. But 80% over and over and over again are going to be the same questions. And those are really good ones to start off answering, because those are the ones that people will constantly be asking. Now, the others are, what are the general questions? What about people that are just looking around? Because people do have questions. They just don't know about you yet. If they knew about you, they'd pick up the phone and say, hey, what about this? And you'd have the answer for them. Well, when somebody types in a question into Google, it does not go wasted. Google makes note of it. And the next person who types in the question, and chances are, there's a good possibility that it's going to be the exact same wording. Google's going to tick a little box and say, oh, this is a pretty popular question. Anywhere between 10, 50, 100, 200, 2,000, 7,000, 20,000 people are asking the exact same question month after month after month after month. And what you do is you strategically pick a few of those questions, and there's a right way to do it. Strategically pick some questions and you give your answer. And the next 10, 20, 40, 50 people who type in the question are going to find you. And that's how you build these streams of people, the streams of videos that point to you as people are typing them into Google and trying to search for their answers. Is this making sense? It starts off slow and it starts to build. That's what we do around here to make sure that you have the right YouTube channel focus and going after clients the right way with YouTube for your business. So be sure to like and subscribe so you get the next one that we talk about, whether it's lighting or cameras or SEO, another deep dive into SEO. You don't want to miss it to get you and your business on YouTube the right way. So some of the most popular questions you want to take and turn into, think of it, here's an easy one. Think of it as the FAQs. The FAQs that would be on your website, whether you have them or not, what are those questions that people are asking? There's so many times when I look at somebody's FAQ page on their website, and it's some of it's technical stuff, like especially for software. Some of it's technical stuff or billing stuff or whatever. It's not the actual questions that people would be asking. I think they probably get a few of those again and again, but the nuts and bolts of it that really are what customers and clients are looking for to draw them in, I think a lot of their FAQs are after they become clients. You want the questions that people are looking for before they become clients. Those are the questions you start to answer. One of the most common ones is, how much does it cost to do blank? Any type of price question is a really good question to have answered, because people are going to immediately be asking that. It's always in the back of their mind. Once you go through your sales presentation and everything like that, there's always a price question. Answer that up front and they'll know immediately. Customer journey videos. What's it going to be like if they work with you? That type of thing. They started off with here, they went to this, these people worked with us for 3 months, 6 months, a year. They invested for their retirement. They were with us for 25 years, and now they're living on a tropical island drinking Mai Tais the rest of their lives. Anything like that. Customer journey stories are always help to paint a picture. There are a lot of claims out there on the internet, and you'll hear a lot of them from businesses. We're the best. We do this like nobody else. Really? Prove it. Now's your opportunity to back up what you're saying, because any other ad is confined by space or time or something like that. Now that you're on YouTube, you can say and do whatever you want for as long as you want. And here's your opportunity to put the spotlight on you, prove that you're the best in whatever it is for the reasons that you are the best, and totally bury the competition. Now's your chance to shine. Don't turn it into bragging. It's a very fine line. But when you simply express, yeah, this is why we make this claim, because we've been doing it for so long, we've been able to streamline things, and it costs you less. Always bring it back around to the customer and why it's to their advantage to do business with you, rather than, oh yeah, because we got really low overhead and we're making money hand over fist. No, that's not the way to do it. Okay? It's to their advantage, not your advantage. So like I said at the beginning and in the middle, I told you I had a free gift for you. We talked a little bit about that SEO technique. Well, a friend of mine, Nate Woodbury, has written the book on all of this stuff about getting your business on YouTube. It's the Hero's Guide to Influence on YouTube. Nate gave me several of these copies to give away. It's the shipping and then plus printing kind of thing. There's a link down below in the description. Click on it and order yours now. This covers everything. It goes in depth about that SEO research that I was telling you about, leaves no stone unturned. And then it also talks about lighting and cameras and editing and thumbnails and you name it, it's all covered. Audio and audio backups, everything that you could possibly need to get your channel up and running, it's covered right here. Click the link below and get your copy. I'm Nick Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.